Why you should never shake a hand while sitting down. You are about to meet someone important, a potential business partner, employer, or influential connection. The first few seconds of your interaction will shape their lasting impression of you. One seemingly small but critically important factor is whether you remain seated or stand up when shaking their hand. Standing shows confidence, authority, and respect. Staying seated projects a lack of effort and indifference. Follow these tips to ensure you make the powerful first impression you deserve. Why is it important to stand when shaking hands? You undermine your credibility and convey subservience when you shake someone's hand from a seated position. It's a subtle body language cue, but a very meaningful one. By rising to your feet, you demonstrate that you view the other person as important and worthy of your effort and energy. It's a sign of respect and investment in the interaction. Imagine a scenario where you remain planted in your chair, forcing the other person to stoop down towards you. It puts them in an awkward, compromising position, quite literally looking down on you. You have just subconsciously communicated that you lack competence, motivation, and equality. Not exactly the traits you want to project when trying to earn someone's business or trust. In contrast, standing up shows that you are actively engaged, enthusiastic about the meeting, and view yourself as an equal. It allows you to shake hands properly, locking eyes to increase rapport and connection. You appear self-assured and in control rather than lethargic or indifferent. You have to create a commanding presence for yourself. Standing is only the first step in radiating confidence and authority. How you hold yourself as you rise and extend your hand matters greatly. Unfurl yourself from your chair with vigor, don't sluggishly push yourself up. Keep your shoulders back and head held high. This expansive, upright posture makes you appear bigger and more formidable. Walk towards the other person with long, decisive strides, maintaining eye contact. Premature smiling can seem obsequious and overeager, so keep your expression neutral and calm until the actual handshake. Remember the basics of a classic handshake. When shaking hands, keep your palm perpendicular to the ground, don't let your hand flap limply or bend awkwardly. Grip firmly without being aggressive, locking your fingers around the base of the person's hand. Look them squarely in the eye as you do so. This direct, unflinching eye contact conveys focus and trustworthiness. Give the hand a couple of solid pumps in a smooth, controlled up and down motion before releasing. Less than 2 pumps appears timid, while more than 3 can seem confrontational. Speak clearly as you introduce yourself to solidify your initial impression of a poised, professional persona. Your handshake will give you away. Keep these tips in mind when entering any room with important introductions. Resist the urge to prematurely take a seat, even if chairs or couches are visible. Remain standing until you have shaken hands with all of the key people. This shows self-assurance and respect for proper etiquette. If it's an informal social situation, it's acceptable to shake hands from a seated position with close friends or those you already know well. But when meeting someone of importance for the first time, stand up to maximize your dominant, capable demeanor. How to maintain your commanding presence. After nailing the introduction with a confident handshake while standing, it's important to sustain that powerful presence throughout the interaction. Body language accounts for over half of the impression you convey, so be mindful of your nonverbal cues. Take a stance with your feet about shoulder width apart, keeping your weight evenly balanced. This grounded, centered position projects maturity and self-assurance. Avoid shifting your weight from side to side, rocking back on your heels, or leaning away. These restless movements can make you appear nervous or disinterested. Keep your hands visible and movements minimized when conversing. Playing with jewelry, adjusting clothing, or fidgeting comes across as anxiety or impatience. Occasionally gesturing with open palms can make your points more impactful, but be economical in your motions. Make consistent eye contact, glancing away briefly only for emphasis. Steadily holding someone's gaze increases trust and perceived authenticity. Regularly breaking eye contact signals insecurity or dishonesty. Speak clearly and convincingly, without upward inflections that turn statements into questions. Pause briefly before making key points to create emphasis. Vary your vocal tone, volume, and cadence to avoid sounding monotonous. When listening, maintain eye contact and lean slightly forward. This shows you are engaged and find value in what's being said. Nodding occasionally demonstrates you are following along. Avoid crossing your arms, which projects disinterest or opposition. If sitting becomes necessary, choose a chair positioning you at a similar height as others to maintain equality. Lean slightly back to stay grounded and avoid looming over people. Polishing the personal brand. All of these body language nuances influence the critical first impressions that can open or close doors. They shape your personal brand as someone to be taken seriously and treated with respect. It requires practice to make projecting confidence through body language a habit. But doing so is a worthy investment that will pay dividends throughout your professional and personal life. People are hardwired to make split-second judgments about characteristics like trustworthiness, competence, and leadership ability based solely on nonverbal cues. Control the narrative by being acutely aware of the subtle impressions you are conveying through your posture, movement, and demeanor. Always stand while shaking hands and carry that powerful presence forward. It will differentiate you as someone of substance to be reckoned with.